And good morning. So I haven't much to say. Besides now, it will be the most important thing is for us to utilize this time to meditate. And concerning meditation, then a few things were said here, there, and then during the other sessions that you've had with our teachers, actually you must have had better opportunities to kind of get an insight into sort of what meditation is understood from a more sort of in one way, in a more academic way, and on the other hand, in a more technical way. And so, therefore, those are the things. If you can keep it in your mind or in your heart, I'm sure you all must have taken a lot of notes. Must have had a lot of discussions about it also, And so, those are the things that's important to keep in mind, because otherwise, these days the meditation, or in Tibetan Gom, is sort of a little bit watered down or diluted, because it's sort of, in some ways, it's overrated, and because of that fact, then the whole idea of meditation becomes sort of like a theme park or something. And so, therefore, to remind ourselves, meditation, it hasn't really much to do with implementing something externally into our lives. Instead, whether we are conscious or not conscious, it's something that we do every day. And the examples that I was sort of referring to were things like although they are just more of a reference, but nevertheless, such as the rhythms of our blood flow, air intake, or oxygen intake, sorry. Basically anything that has a rhythm, So it could be the immediate physical aspect, or a little bit further away, like that of the rising of the sun and the setting of the sun, and so on. So like that, there are lots of so-called rhythms in a way, where it doesn't really seem to require planning, organization actually. Meaning that as if the so-called life, or the state of our being is somewhat raw, like raw minerals or something, raw energy or something, and then now we need to sort of tame it, alter it, manage it, organize it, and so on. But instead, it does its own thing in a way. also not in a way that is separate from the so-called us, But it has always done its own thing. It is doing its own thing, But not in a way we can really understand. Yeah, and so meaning, for example, diseases takes place, natural calamities takes place, and it's really difficult to describe why they take place, But on its own, it has no agenda or any kind of plan to say, as if it has a mind of its own to do it in a malevolent way, To say now I should strike this organ or something, It just, at the end of the day, it just happens of its own. That's what it really is. And so we say, yes, meditation, meaning that sort of being a little in tune with our conceptual mind in general, because the conceptual mind, whether in general the conceptual mind sort of works more in a mechanical way. And even more so, if you use language like English and so on, then it becomes even more mechanical. Even a language like Tibetan or even Sanskrit, yes, it has no choice but to follow a mechanical way, meaning it has to follow the grammatical sort of laws in a way, And so that's where the confusion sort of could take place or is taking place, because the human condition is such that it is both endowed with the tool to communicate, yet at the same time, because of that, then we can get also distracted by that tool also. Yeah. So more than any other, subdivisional tools, the most sort of, not to say original, but the principal tool or the basic tool, which is basically the concept in a way, that the conceptual tool is if not handled well or handled with care, then we could arrive at various different points where we develop misconceptions about reality, And so therefore, meaning mechanical, meaning that in order to sort of express, in order to communicate, even to others or even to oneself, in order to learn something or in order to compose something, the mechanical sort of components, like me being here and basically the subject-object sort of relation that we need to use in order to describe something, in order to make sense of something, in order to be able to have a mental picture or a mental note, And so therefore, meditation, the whole idea of it has no real choice but to be described in that sense. And because of it, then we may relate to everything else in a mechanical way, And as a result, then it can get a little bit heavy and difficult to understand. So it is that simple, actually. Yeah. So therefore, meditation is just nothing but a term, one of those conceptual tools, a very useful one, a good one, a great one. But at the same time, we have to know that it is nothing but a tool and nothing beyond that. And then it can help us point to something. And in this case, point to our condition, our temporary condition or present condition, which we can relate to as maybe human condition, meaning all the positive sides and the negative sides and in between sides, and hopefully through that, because meditation is not just one thing that we do, Actually, it compels us, if you really are meditating, then it will compel us to learn or to become aware of all sorts of aspects. It could invoke us to learn things that we never thought was actually important. I don't know, maybe it could compel us to learn about medicine, or maybe about carpentry, or maybe about sanitation, or even about politics, or about I don't know, astronomy, or anything, any subjects that we never thought I would be ever related to that, and it will, in one way or another, yeah. And so, in that sense, what does that say? Is that in a way there is a sort of there is such connectivity in a way, or relation in a way, that there is no sort of completely ripped off and separated thing called meditation that we do, and on the other hand we have the so-called real life, And so, in this sense, then meditation is actually very wholesome. It's not just about the sitting posture, a certain breathing technique, so that you have a little bit of less anxiety about everything, and then you can go back to your, or all of us can go back to what we are doing in a more effective way, And so that's one of it, but it's not all of it, yeah. So of all the things that it will make us become aware of, I think the most intimate one, maybe the most, not exactly daunting, but most personal one would be then it will eventually lead us to wonder about our emotions, our personal emotions. How do they come about, And then step by step, if you focus on that, then most amazing confusions will be solved step by step, instead of going into 1,000 therapy or something like that. Not that therapy is in any way bad or anything, It will also lead us to probably exercise therapy too. But what I'm trying to say is the negative view of or the concept that we have about therapy, or the most popular one, which is sort of like a quick fix. So, yes. So all of this is possible, and what we are doing with the practice of Chenrezig is basically develop a certain technique. Is it wholesome? Yes. But is it a quick fix? It could be. Or on the other hand, or more, but it's more on the side of no, not really. It's not a quick fix. But because it's not a quick fix, is it a bad thing? No. Yeah. How to say? By sort of tapping the various aspects of meditation, which is sort of like in some ways sort of like a progress, a process. Well, how does it say? Learning and then contemplating and meditation. So already those three components suggest that it's not a case where you do away with learning, you do away with contemplation and just jump directly, And sometimes we could think that way, that Mahamudra and so on. We can jump directly into it and do away with the other components. And then maybe there are stories, very inspiring stories like that, and so therefore we feel that welcome, you do that, But I think those stories are there because sometimes we are initially maybe inspired by that story, and once we are motivated, then we have no hang-ups about learning, So it's like that. And sometimes maybe we are not interested at all about meditation, but more about learning. So we are motivated initially like that. Then once we begin to learn, then we get enticed also into meditating, So all in all, at the end, we will be doing the whole three components, It's just how we get motivated is a little bit different. Yeah. And so therefore, we don't have to choose and make a decision of I belong to this category or I belong to that category, Yes, we can follow our motivation or how we feel, and if you are true to it, meaning if you are genuine about it, if you enjoy it, and if you really open ourselves up to it, eventually it will lead to the two other components. And then it becomes wholesome, And so that's why there are aspects where we have academic aspects, where there's an access to learn things, and on the other hand, we have also the access point to meditate. Yeah. So that's the kind of view we have to develop. And yes, so before I miss your most important meal, then the fasting. But if you're drinking enough juice after noon, then you are still the sugar level, I suppose, is still okay. But I don't know how healthy it is. Yes. Yeah. So all of this, is at the end of the day, meditation, learning, fasting, or sojong, or all of this. On one hand, we have to try it, and then by trying through that trying, then we may get to develop a taste for it, It could be blue cheese or stinky cheese, or it can be durian, or I don't know, anything. We have to try it, and then we can see how it goes. But on the but the most important aspect is that if you really like what you do, then that's all of it. Then time, effort, energy, all of it won't matter at all. But if you don't enjoy it, even if you are, to say, trying to live a very simple, ordinary life, it'll at some point become really a nuisance, and that very simple life can cause anxiety in a way. So, therefore, at the end of the day, it's about doing something that you really, really like. Yeah. So I hope that is the case, but by hoping, I don't mean to sort of force you in any way. I just genuinely wish that I hope this is the case, that you enjoy practicing, that you enjoy meditating, that you like this way of life. And if you do, then if it is interesting to think that by doing something I like, it's also going to benefit others, great, But if you're not bothered by that, no problem at all. As long as you do something that you feel that this is me, Sometimes when I say enjoy or you like to do, maybe it can again. It goes back to that feeling of I am doing something I like, So that's not the point. It's just it's more of saying that this doing or this rhythm is me, Then that's it. So then with that, then we will meditate on Chenrezig. Thank you.
Chenrezig. Gyalwa Chenrezig. Yemen Gomje Ngojire Song Bajim Kanjara Doi Be Ngoi Soi Mate Maje De Kara Jobe Goman Chenela Goman Jai Loi Dai Chala Vai Chenen Je Nam Doi Ngoi Vai Che Kurai Soi Bajim Jere Jai Ma Ye Jere Jai Charai Va La Mai Gai Roloi Bara Charai Ve Gom Chen La Korai De Yere Me To Bara Chenen Je La Ke Wai Gun Doi Yan Doi Lai Ma Dang Dalai Me Je Je Ba Lai Lai Je Jing Sa Dai Lai Je Yan De Rai Zo Ne Dorai Je Jan Je Go Pan Nyarai Dai Shoi San Je Che Dai Zo Je Chanai Lai San Ju Parai Doi Dane Kya So Che Da Je Gom De Je Be Se Nam Je Doloi Benjere Zanje Do Parai Shoi Sanje Che Dan Choji Chonai Lai Sanjoi Parai Doi Dane Kyazoi Je Daje Gom De Je Be Se Nan Je Doloi Benjere Shoi Sanje Che Da Doje Chonai Lai Sanjoi Paradoi Dane Kya Che Daje Gom De Je Be Se Nan Je Dolai Benjere Sanje Je Parai Shoi Da Zoi Kai Jai Sen Je Je Chen Zoi Be Karai Da Ve Deng Shele Bai Joi Che Re Ze Karai Zalai Ve Zere Nga Den Choi Ze Zum Do Je Chen Je Se Choi Je Dai Bai Tala Jarai Ze Onye She Zhen Be Karai Nan Tarai Dai Ren Chen Jen Je Je Re Dai Ba Be De Yoi Soloi He Bai Samye Dorje Je Jai Shoi Chemen Da Vara Ja Den Bai Kane Kende Ma Vai Jarai Cho Vai Kenje Ma Gai Kandai Kar Do Zai Je Je We Lai Jen Dorje Jen Jen Ro Lai Se Chenrezig Lai Cha Zai Lai Cho Vai Kenje Ma Gai Gon Dai Kar Do Zai Je Je We Lai Jen Dorje Chenrezig Lai Cha Zai Lai Cho Vai Jen Je Ma Gai Gon Dai Kar la cha za la pa pa je re se wan tong choi jui de so sho pa ye Gyalwa se je dan je la kun dan ve cha cha la me do be ma me je cha la se ro lo mo la so ba Wam jara ye ye zhen bol pa be co ye ye so so lo to ma me ne da de par me je je da ta me wa sem ne nya mo wan jara be Nyende ranjaloi chanjai sem sozoi devoi la soba tezoi devoi chezoi pe senai la ne da ye ra semje nanje zamba dan loye cheja chedai var Chejon tomon te baye, cheje koraloi koradoi soloi, korawai jeze madoi var, nyanine medai toje dongai jazui chewaye, semje sezo zoloi, daje zeno je zaba, tanje janje jara jane, rembo medoi rawaye, jenbe balaido da jara je, te dara je zoloi dai pe, Paibe gole zere madale mai treje jan chene deva chende shen nanje jendre le wai sen nanda redo yereme be Doi doi da lai dele doi do vai gun me da le de para vai jara mai da de vai chen de varai shol ke mai ta de sa je ra je ne Shendana Jabara Shoy Deva Deye Deva Krum Sanoma Yeshe Lejonde Sana Yeshe Lejonde Daibai Kanye Daibai Shoy Yamahoy Antarai Zanje Nawa Daye Daye Zojavai Dorje Jemba Dam Yendu Zembai Dorje Dana Loi Zanje Janze Bane Koroje Koro Deje Wazarai Badoi Mebaye Devai Jenje Dashin dene zebe jarama dai jevai chenje paramai chebaro Deroi jene nande shadoi shoi deje dai jimbe loin dai bade Chojo zanje janze danje jene jobara Sende la de soloi Deya dai benja deya Awai badanai Soi hai Chode jalawai seje koi Zonye dolai jeye ram Dai de zoi je sa bai Kun choi san lai che ba Jalale de bai pele jiroi je je wa zen je gwen lai wa do gwen don je doi jiroi je doi dan je de da shen je lai min jiroi je ne da ne cho zo de Chenrezig me nyando pele Chede sa joy nanjaraji Namshe chebe jarama thai Deva jende je jaraji Kene bema katse de le de lai san de sho Chancho donne jese doi jolave jova jenen parai joi so nai de tam jese vanye tonne nye pe ta namai pam je Yeah.